and I began to swim. I enjoy swimming. I wish everyone could. But some will never want to try. But some would try if they had something to hold on to. This summer, I spent time in my pool with my son and my grandson. Fearless and free are they, splashing with abandon, swimming and swirling like otters. But I know a woman. She does not believe in God. But more important to this story, she doesn't believe in physics. Those who know her and are familiar with the laws of hydrodynamics would rightly conclude that she is buoyant. Nevertheless, she needs something to hold on to. A styrofoam noodle or two helps her forget her fear and gives her a handle on her confidence, something to hold on to. What do we as Unitarian Universalists give to people when we ask them to swim in our spiritual waters? What do we give them to hold on to? The question led me to my summer sabbatical project, of which I brought you a draft as proof. I wanted to create something I could place in someone's hand, something to hold on to, a handle to this complex faith. People need to know that we are not as strange as others may think we are. We need to give them words that they can grasp. Being able to state who we are will help us in attracting new people. Being able to state who we are will help us as we interact with others. Being able to state who we are can counteract the trouble in the world today. Here it comes, probably the first of many quotes you're going to hear from me this year. Emerson said, "Put the argument in a concrete shape, into an image, some hard phrase, round and solid as a ball, which they can see and handle and carry home, and the cause is half won." We need to do the hard work of thinking who we are, by thinking what we might tell a friend about us. This discipline will help us understand ourselves. I know this summer many of you read Our Chosen Faith. It helped you realize why you chose to be here. And I also noticed that this congregation was very busy over the summer. I happened to attend a walk in support of forming a Department of Peace. At the founding of our nation, this was suggested by a signer of the Declaration of Independence, Benjamin Rush, who was a Universalist. There were 20 UUs on that walk, many who were wearing very bright shirts, and Greg had extra bright shirts to put on people as we walked. What we do says a lot about who we are. We are a people who go in peace, believe in peace, and create peace. What we do is the best clue to what we believe. As Thomas Jefferson said, it is in our lives, not from our words, that our religion must be read. And I spent a lot of time reading about the lives of Unitarian Universalists this summer. And I concluded that we care about freedom and humanity. From Mary Wollstonecraft writing about the rights of women while Thomas Paine was writing about the rights of man, Dorothea Dix and Benjamin Rush caring for people with mental illness, Susan B. Anthony, Olympia Brown, Elizabeth Cady Stanton fighting for women's rights, Lydia Marie Child, Theodore Parker, and Thoreau protesting slavery, Clarence Darrow defending the right to teach evolution in school, Clara Barton founding the Red Cross, Roger Baldwin founding the American Civil Liberties Union. We have a history of expanding human rights, but we cannot rest on our laurels. This week, Congress passed a law that restricts human freedom. People of both parties voted to suspend habeas corpus, the right of people to be told why they are being imprisoned. The prohibitions against torture have been loosened and nuanced. We need to speak. We who have a history of believing in human freedom now are called to live our belief. We can make people aware. We can tell people that this bill is not necessary for our protection. What is in need of protection is the character of this country. Is America a country that tortures? Is that what we want? Ben Franklin, who attended Theophilus Lindsay's Unitarian Church in England, said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." Here is a handle to our faith that we can give to others. Unitarian Universalists are against torture because Unitarian Universalists affirm and promote human dignity, even if it means risking our lives. I would rather suffer another terrorist attack than to give in to the temptation to torture those who plan to harm me, or to torture those who might harm me, or to torture those who are rumored to want to harm me. And I absolutely think it's wrong to torture somebody when there is absolutely no evidence that they want to harm me. I never thought the following statement would be controversial. Torture is wrong because it is an outrage against human dignity. Who we are will be determined by what we do. If we do not act to defend human freedom, then that means that we don't believe in it much. We must find a way to protest this action. However, that's only a political action. If we have a handle on our own Unitarian Universalism, we will go beyond the political and into the spiritual. Unitarian Universalists are the far extreme of Protestantism. Protestantism has the word protest as its root. It's a religious movement of what we are against. But we must do the spiritual work to figure out what we are for, and then have the spiritual discipline to work on it every day. Henry Bellows, a 19th century Unitarian, said, "The true faith will no longer be Protestant, but an affirmative faith. Men will begin to put on beautiful garments of real beliefs instead of throwing off ugly chains of prescription. The world will have set earnestly about the inquiry not in what is to be doubted, but what might be credited. Instead of fearing religious bondage, we shall dread spiritual nakedness." We long ago broke the chains of theology that said torture was the prescription for our salvation. We refuse to inflict suffering on one person because of the sins of another. Let us put on the beautiful garment of human freedom. We affirm the human freedom in ourselves, and that leads us to affirm the freedom in others. We must overcome the fear that leads to restrictive laws. We are never powerless. We can always choose to act in a positive manner. Believing in human freedom is an act of faith. And that act of faith is rooted in our cultural history. Habeas corpus has roots in the Magna Carta of 1215. No free man shall be seized or imprisoned except by lawful judgment of his peers or by the law of the land. And it was formalized by the British Habeas Corpus Act in 1679. It was one of the foundations, assumptions of this country, and it's been expanded internationally by the Geneva Conventions. We, as Unitarian Universalists, affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of all people. We do not think the phrase outrages upon human dignity is vague. One of the things we can do is educate our friends and neighbors and politicians about the inherent worth and dignity of humanity. We come to this place to remind ourselves and recommit ourselves to that principle. We are blessed to be living in a time when we can get a handle on what it means to be Unitarian Universalists. We can share that handle with everyone we meet when we share our commitment to the human worth and dignity of every person, even those persons who do not respect our human worth and dignity. We will live by this standard. We will not forsake it out of fear. The actions of others will not divert us from our high purpose. We, as Unitarian Universalists, are committed to human freedom. Human freedom is our eternal hope. Human freedom is our internal desire. Human freedom is our external action. This is who we are. This is what we think. This is what we do.